from Dr. Bow, the director of the Creation Evidence Museum, to do a very, very good research on this hammer and on the stone at the Fresenius Institute in Germany, which is the best material checking institution in Europe. And I have to say, 60% the hammer is not 14 million years old, because they found out that the wood is not petrified. But they found out that the metal is a very strange combination, and they found out that this piece and the second piece, the top piece, is the same material, because many of the archaeologists and anthropologists said that they would have put the hammer inside the stone. No, the stone was inside, the hammer was inside the stone. But one other thing, there is a last check necessary, because in the second stone is a muscle inside, a shell, thank you. There's a shell inside, and if we can prove that this is a seashell, then the hammer is really that old. But if it's from clear water, then it would prove that the hammer is young. So next time when I get the hammer, we try to do the last check. Until now, I have to say, 60% this artifact is not that old as presented until our days. This is another thing. It's a stone plate. It's a positive and negative of one footstep, like a shoe step. And inside is a trilobite, crashed through the weight. But trilobites, they are not existing since at least 230, 300 million years. This metal pot was found in the United States inside a big stone coal block. And you can see that it was under heavy pressure, because the coal definitely was going inside partly of this iron pot. But the coal in this area where this metal pot was found is at least geological dating 65 million years. And it goes ident with many pieces Michael Cremo wrote in his book Forbidden Archaeology. So I personally also think that humans' age is much, much older than we know until now. And here we have other very interesting artifacts from Peru, Ica. This is Professor Cabrera. He was a doctor in Ica, a small village close to the Nazca lines, and he collected the last 40 years more than 12,000 stones with carvings, and also thousands of terracotta figurines showing dinosaurs with human, showing heart transplantations, brain operations, and many other things. I have to say I was 3 times there, also with a geological scientist. We did the checking on many of the stones, and I have to say the majority of the stones, especially the very strange ones, they are really very, very old. But Professor Dr. Cabrera had also many new-made stones in his collection. He was very fanatic. So I think at the time when he couldn't get new artifacts, he really ordered a man to do some new stones, and it's pity. But that sometimes happens. So I have to say definitely the majority of his artifacts, they are really old, very old, some of them probably millions of years, but he passed away, he had also some new done in his collection. Here you can see the dinosaurs with human, dinosaurs with a fish, a man looking up to the stars. Here you have a kind of pyramid, very interesting. We checked very carefully this stone, and the patina is really very old. This map is also very, very old, very heavy, a very big stone. And here you have some terracottas from his secret chamber. He called it secret chamber. Dinosaurs with human. Here you have stomach operation. And these two shells are showing really faces. I mean, very strange shells. He kept them also as some very special artifacts. Now we are going to Mexico, to Acámbaro. Acámbaro is about 3 hours by car west of Mexico City. There was a German living from around 1920 up to 1945, and they found on one mountain over 35,000 terracotta pieces, with many of them showing really dinosaurs. And Hapgood did research on it, and 2 other American researchers did age datings in America, and those pieces are between 2,000 and 6,000 years old. So there is the big question, how could those people know how dinosaurs are looking like? This is another very interesting piece, because if you look at this piece, you think this is an Egyptian artifact. It is not. It is also from the same place, from Acámbaro, also this one. And they really had more than 35,000 pieces. And all those pieces are still not accepted by the Mexican government as originals. Even there are really existing age datings between 2,000 and 6,000 years. Why they cannot be accepted? Because people could not have known even 2,000 or 6,000 years ago how dinosaurs are looking like. This is a drawing of the so-called Burroughs Cave in Illinois, in United States, done by Russell Burroughs, who found in the early 1980s an underground tunnel system, and he brought out thousands of stones with end carvings with an unknown writing, the one I showed you on the bottom of the pyramid with the eye. And he also wrote a book. He explained that there are sarcophagus, pure gold inside, that there are mummies looking like Egyptian, that there are big overman-sized statues with diamonds and precious stones and everything. So he brought some of the stones to some museums, and they all told him those are frauds, new done. So then he started to sell stones. And even he found a lot of gold objects, and he and 2 of his friends were melting this gold. And we found out, especially Luc Bergin, a Swiss journalist, he found out that there exists in Switzerland a bank account on the name of Russell Burroughs and his 2 partners, 3 men. 2 of them died, and so Russell Burroughs cannot take the money out by himself, and there are $5 million US. So how can he make $5 million US with just stone frauds? So it's reality that he really found a lot of gold. Then he wanted to show this place to Wayne May, the publisher of an archaeological magazine called Ancient America, and he told him he will show the place if he pays him $10,000. So he said, okay, show me the place. And when they were around the area, Russell Burroughs said, no, I decided I don't show you the place. So Wayne May knew approximately where this area is, and he called ground penetrate radar specialists, and they did a research. And if you see here the statues, you see the gold sarcophagus, which he drawed by himself, Russell Burroughs. And here you have gold detections, the sarcophagus. You have also statues here, and the whole system is much bigger than even he discovered yet. So that means Wayne May is now trying to find an entrance to prove that this underground tunnel system with gold sarcophagus really existed. And here I show you some of these stones, always with the same writing here, but with strange humans on them. Here like an Egyptian, the same writing. This is like the Greek Alpha, and also the strange writing. This could be Tanis, the goddess of the Middle East, and the unknown writing. Also these marble plates he sold, he brought out of this tunnel and he sold it. And this symbol and that one I found also in the book from Churchward, The Sunken Continent Mu. Here you have an Egyptian goddess. That again looks like Egyptian, but always this so-called pre-Sanskrit. This is a Ushabti found in United States on another place in a mound building in an old former mound grave. So I got the information from Rex Gilroy that he also found a broken pyramid and some hieroglyphs in Australia, and I believe him, because if this civilization could even go to United States, why they couldn't have been able to come to Australia? That's another small stone plate, again found on another place while ground working by a farmer, and it shows also typical and 100% Egyptian goddess. Then another place, Utah, Mr. Bowers found around 30 years ago a tunnel system, and inside the tunnel he found two mummies. The male was about 3 meters in size with red hair and a red beard and a big sword and armors, and the lady was blonde and 2.7 meter, perfect mummies, and he brought out of this cave 60 stone cassettes with metal plates, with another, but sometimes very similar looking writing like the ones I showed you before on metal plates. 60 perfect done stone boxes with metal plates with unknown writings and drawings on it. This stone is from Colombia. It's very interesting because on one side you have the writings like the other one I showed you, but on the second side, on the opposite side, you have a different style of writing in corals inlay. That's again a stone from Sutatausa in Colombia. That's also from Sutatausa, Colombia. And now we are in Calabria, in Italy. 20 years ago, Dr. Tolone, a judge, found on his ground over 150 artifacts, mainly terracotta artifacts. And this plate is about 1 meter and 30 centimeters wide. And there is a second man who was able to translate these unknown writings up on the connection with Professor Schildmann. His name is Professor Raso, an Italian professor, and he translated this big plate. And it was talking, the translation was talking about a small stone circle, and close to the stone circle, an ancient elephant, a mastodon statue, about 2 meters in size, and in this area there are the graves of the sea kings. And if you read some readings from Edgar Cayce, when he was talking about Atlanteans, he called them the sea kings. So when Adriano Forgione, the publisher of Phoenix,